So I'll give you a recap of recent event.
Okay. Yeah, it's been a while.
How long has it been?
I would guess 6 months, roughly. That would be a guess.
Yes, a lot happened since.
Uh,
Um, so I was in a relationship back then, broke up. Um, in the past, so I'm in Thailand, and yeah, I think 2 months ago I had a major rupture with all my friends and my ex and her friend, besides one, besides one friend. And in my perception, what happened, they had their shadows coming out. And when I mean shadows, I mean them acting in a way that is out of alignment with their own values, things like lying, betraying, this kind of stuff. And I had this loop where, let's say, somebody's shadow is coming up, it, and I need emotional containment and a repair to happen because they are incapable of doing so because they don't see themselves. The loop that I had is to show them what happened, why things happened the way that they happened, so they can understand themselves by asking questions. And then maybe they were able to see me at the end of all this process when they can see themselves. Um, so like 2 months ago, I broke that loop and was finally allowing my anger to come out and the pain.
mhm.
And since then, all of them, besides one, are having a polarity. On the one side, saying I'm these and that negative things. On the other side, wanting my presence and wanting me to go back to the group, which is something that I'm not doing. And thanks to having that rupture and having all their shadows coming up, it allowed me to see more of the light of the one friend that has remained, which is Rachel. And we bonded super strongly uh, to the point of I've never had that with a friend. She's and an ex. She's the family to me. So that's a positive thing. And there is still a shock in my system in regards to how they all behaved. And there is still this child part that really wants um, to have at least friendship
Mhm.
with my ex. So when I'm doing my inner processing, it's fascinating to observe how one moment I can feel the rage and anger of some parts, and then boom, it switches to sadness and grief and loneliness and so on. So there is that. And recently, recently, it's for my life almost, but
Mm.
recently,
Recently, you're noticing it. Yeah.
the pattern has become stronger where I have these sexual parts and very strong masculine, which I'm working on releasing more. And the majority of the reflections that I'm getting are very, very positive, which brings me a lot of corrective experiences. So I'd say that this is the main recap.
Okay. Um, just take a second then. And by the way, do you want me to call you Neo or Elon?
Hmm? Yeah,
Neo.
yeah.
Okay. Um, would you check in Neo and just check and see if any parts wanted to say anything else, or are they, in a sense, are they clear? Did they feel like they shared everything?
There's a part that said that he missed you.
Oh, which one was that? No, I'm just teasing a little bit.
Yeah, that
Funny.
that whatever part is saying you have a this unique flavor, and that kind of play
Mm,
is part of it. So,
good.
well, a part that is very present is it's kind of a probably a child part that is experiencing antisocial behavior and doesn't want to be out, wants to be in bed all day and not leave the house.
Okay. And this is just to clarify for me, these people that you had this falling out with, these friends, you interact with them, like you
No.
have to see them.
I see my ex here, and there is another ex-friend that I see here. Basically, what happened, what kind of started everything is there was a situation where my ex, so I connected between all of them. So we became this group, and we came to Thailand separated. At the same time, we still had physical and sexual intimacy. There was a situation where all of us were in this food market,
Hmm.
and my ex triggered a friend, and I saw it, so I pointed at it, and then she came to him and cons uh, gave him affection that is beyond friendship while looking me in the
Okay.
eyes, which triggered the shit out of me. But I was able to stay very composed, and we left after like 3 minutes. Long story short, she admitted that it was on purpose. There was a part in her that tried to make me jealous in hopes that we'll get back together.
Yeah.
So I told them that I have a boundary that I don't want, and that friend was in complete denial that he's attracted to her and blah blah blah. Long story short, I had a boundary for them not to have any physical touch, which they both agreed, and then violated the boundary, and that cascaded to all the friend group having the shadows coming up.
Gotcha.
Yes,
Mm. So yeah, so I mean, from the history that you and I have together, it makes sense to me that that would activate certainly some younger parts of you.
yes.
So are those the ones I'm assuming, but are those the ones you want to connect with today, or do they want to connect with you? What are you sort of
I want
sensing today?
to focus on that kind of antisocial part.
Okay. All right. And how are you sensing that part right now? And are you familiar with him?
I am very familiar with him.
Okay. Does
I
he have
see
a
it,
name?
a kid part. Let's call him the kid.
The kid? Okay. All right.
So I'm not sure if it was a little bit before the breakup, which happened around 8 months ago, or after. I became aware of another part, which is called the killer part. And this
Okay.
part has very strong masculine energy.
And that's the one that people are enjoying, you said. Is that right?
No,
The one that, no.
no, that the the kind of shining, attractive part to most women and people would be the demon and Lucifer part. So
Yeah.
I see those parts as this kind of
Right. Right. We're,
like a rainbow. So there will
hmm
be at the top there will be Lucifer part, the underneath the demon part, underneath the Smith part, and underneath that the killer part.
You said Lucifer Demon Smith? No, okay. And you're interested in connecting with the kid.
The
Okay.
kid and the killer part are very connected, and
Okay.
I'm switching between the anger and rage and fury of the killer part and the insecurities, the sadness and loneliness of the kid part.
Am I right about this? Is the killer the kid's protector?
Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Which one are you connected to the most right now, or is it pretty even, kid and killer?
I'd say more of the killer part.
Okay. Right. Does he and you want to do insight or direct access? What feels right to both of you?
Go direct access.
Okay. Right. So, um, how do you want me to refer to you as killer? Does that sound right to you?
Hmm.
Right. So I haven't met you before. Is there a way you'd like to introduce yourself to me? Do you want me to introduce myself to you?
No, it's okay. Let's just go direct. Ask whatever you want to ask.
Okay. How do you help the kid?
I protect him from weakness that I detest very strongly.
I it cut out there. Can you say that again?
I protect
Okay.
him from other people's weakness.
Okay. All right. So, it would be best for me to not be weak then? You want me to be pretty strong?
You be you and let's see what happens.
Okay. All right. I like your humor. Enjoy
Mhm.
that. All right. So, what kind of weakness is showing up in people? I mean, I heard a little bit of narrative about that, but you have your perspective on it.
Lying, lack of responsibility and accountability.
Lack of accountability. Okay. And lying and people not being responsible. So, how did those things become so important to you?
I want to avoid these type of people.
People that don't have accountability and responsibility.
Yes.
Okay. Um, yeah, and can I take that just a bit deeper? Why do you want to avoid them? What's not okay with people that don't have them? How did they hurt the kid? I think is probably really the most direct way of putting that.
For example, lying, betraying, blaming him for or the system on things that I didn't do in a way of not looking at their own shit, for example,
Okay.
scapegoating, manipulating, all that stuff.
And in what ways do you protect the kid from that? How do you do it?
I put forward firm boundaries. And it was around 3 months ago where for the first time I was able to consciously come out and express the pain and the hurt and to push them away. The other people, the former friend group.
Yeah. Um, my gut says that that was because some other part, which you don't have to know if you don't know, but some other part let you that doesn't normally allow you to come out? Or did you just push past it anyways?
Long story short, what happened, I had a group conversation with four of them, and there was a friend with me, siding with me and expressing the anger that he had towards the other friend that betrayed the boundary and other things to the other friend.
Hmm.
And it was maybe the first time that uh, that kid has experienced anger that is in his best interest,
Yeah. Yeah.
but anger that protects him, and this
Right.
is out of his reality.
Hmm.
So after that happened, that kid understood, wait, or some in other parts understood that, wait, anger can also be as a means of protecting and
Right.
out of a place of love.
Hmm.
Because my whole childhood, whenever anger was present around me, it was against me.
Right. Right.
So after
And
that happened,
this is anger for him.
yes, exactly.
Yeah. Yeah. I
So
got it.
after that happened, the system has allowed me to be more active and express
Oh,
the anger.
good. Good. Well, I'm glad you're here.
Likewise.
Um, I mean, the gist I'm getting is you've expressed a good bit of that, but is there something you want to express? Some anger you want to let me know about, or are you good there?
Uh,
I mean, because you don't seem very angry, which is okay, but I'm not asking you to become angry, but my sense is you've pretty much got that out.
yeah, the system is processing a lot of that anger. A lot of it is very somatic. So
Okay.
mhm.
Yeah, I was actually, thanks for saying that. I was actually going to ask, how did it show up? What did it look like? And I guess if a follow-up to that is how do you feel? You yourself, not the kid, not the system. How do you feel about getting to express it, getting to be noticed in your anger for the kid, not just against Elon's system?
Neo. And
Neo, yeah.
and yeah, it feels good to be out and be more integrated and harmonized within the system. Yeah.
There was some like grief or heaviness there. I just know, what was that?
What
Like
again?
something you're missing? Yeah, it just seemed like you were heavy or lost somewhere else, or I just noticed it changed there.
Mm.
It's okay if you didn't notice.
No, I noticed it, but I don't know what it is.
Okay. All right. Um, are you curious about it at all? Do you want to know what it
No,
is?
that
No?
isn't so
Okay.
relevant.
Okay. All right. So how would you like me or you to be helpful to Neo's system today? What are we here to accomplish? What would you like to be doing?
I think it's best to connect with that kid.
Okay. So do you want to connect with him? Do you want me to connect with him, or do you want Neo to do it? What are you open to?
You do it.
Okay. Are you ready to give space? Are you ready okay. Thank you. It's great to see you. When the kid is here, you let me know.
Just ask for the kid and we'll come up.
Okay. So I'd like to speak to the kid.
Say, kid, are you there? Let's see.
Kid, are you here?
Hmm?
Okay. Hello? How old are you?
I'm not sure.
Okay. Pretty young though.
around 5.
Okay. Have you met me before? I worked with Neo a while back, but I don't know if you met me.
Familiar.
Familiar? Okay. Well, it's good to see you again. How are you feeling about being here right now?
Feel tense.
Okay. Would you like to speak about that tension or just notice it for a little bit? In essence, what's making you tense?
The reaction that I'm getting is wanting to not connect with anybody and just be by myself.
Okay. So it's a little it's uncomfortable in some ways to be connecting with me.
With anyone.
Yeah. Yeah. Would you be willing to tell me what happens when you do connect? What makes it uncomfortable?
The perception that I don't belong.
Okay. I'm gonna push a little bit there. Why is it you think that? Why is it you think you don't belong?
That I have this part saying that to me all the time.
Another part you're saying is thinks that, or you think that?
I don't know.
Don't know. Okay. Well, let me ask this, and if this doesn't land, just let it go. Do you fit in Neo's system? Do you belong there?
I don't belong anywhere.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm sorry you feel that way. Would it be helpful to belong? Is it something you want?
I don't believe it's possible.
Okay. Yeah. What if it was? Would you would you want it if it was possible? Because we could always, in a sense, dare to dream.
I link belonging with pain.
So could you share that again in some other way so I can understand it? I don't quite get that yet. So can you help me? I want to
Connecting and
get it.
belonging is dangerous.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Because that happened to you in some way when you were little, I would assume, right? You tried to connect and it was dangerous.
My mom,
Yeah. Um, so she's not here. You know that, right? She's not here right now. Were other people dangerous to connect to too, or was it just your mom?
and my grandma, Yeah, to me, everybody are dangerous.
Hmm. Yeah, yeah. So, I mean, if they were the people that you were,
People that I was, what?
yeah, it froze there for a second, huh? I said that makes sense if those were the people that were around you, right, when you were little and you were close to and they were dangerous. That makes sense. Um, is Neo dangerous?
I perceive everybody to be
Okay. So I'm dangerous too. Okay. Is there a way that you end up perceiving people as less dangerous? Is there a way that people can help you feel safer? Especially in this moment, me. Is there a way I can?
no, it's only a matter of time until something bad happens.
Okay. So what are you expecting will happen? What's the bad that you're expecting?
Some kind of hatred or anger.
Hatred or anger? Okay. Um, I I don't really have any reason to hate you, but if given enough time, are you saying I'll find something? Is that what you're saying? Okay. I'm not going to overemphasize that. I'm just going to say that makes a part of me sad when you say that.
Why?
Well, because it sounds like you're looking for me to hate you. And that makes a part of me sad because I don't have any ill will towards you.
It's like I'm looking to be punished.
Yeah. Do you do you think that's true? You said it sounds like, do you think that's true? Do you think you need to be punished?
Some part of me believes that.
Some part of it. Okay. For what? Why are you bad and deserve to be punished?
It's just a given.
Okay. Right. Well, we could release that. We could help that because there's no reason for you to be punished. I mean, 5-year olds don't deserve to be punished. I mean, 5-year-olds might be mischievous and do something wrong and need to be corrected sometimes. But what I'm hearing you say is that, well, I'm just a bad person and I deserve it.
There was some part talking to me, and we got to this point, and then he asked me, "What if I let go of that belief that I'm inherently bad?" And there was resistance to letting that go
Hmm. Hmm.
because some part in me feels that it needs to hold on to it to survive.
Yeah.
And then that part said, "Explain to me why it happens."
Okay. Well, it makes sense. It makes sense that you would feel you have to hold on to that. It makes sense to me. Does it make sense to you?
The other part explained to me that I had to adopt that belief in order to survive in the household that I was in.
Yeah. So I hear in that, like, so there were some beliefs that your mom and grandma, maybe others, carried, and you had to adapt to those beliefs. You had to believe those things too, or be annihilated.
I feel the rage of the killer part.
Okay. There's something he wants to add? Does he want to share something with you or with me? He's welcome to.
I just see him as this kind of a beast or a werewolf.
The killer.
Yeah, and he's like breathing very heavy.
Hmm. Do you know that he's angry for you? Do you know what that means? That he has anger for you? He feels for you. He's concerned about the things that happen to you.
I wasn't aware of that.
Okay. What's it like when you have this awareness? It's new. It's new information for you.
It's confusing me.
Okay. Well, we have time, so I'd just stay with it and I'd take it in for a little bit. And if you have some questions, my hunch is he'd be glad to speak to you if you want that.
He looks like a monster.
Do you want to ask him why he looks like that?
Can you ask him?
Oh, sure. Sure. Do you want me to ask the killer? Okay. Killer, are you here?
Mm-hmm.
Can I speak to you? Yeah. Why do you look like a monster? If possible, can you let the kid know?
I guess because I believe that I am.
Okay. I don't know if this is true, but looking like a monster probably can help in your job too. I mean, if you looked beautiful and kind and soft, you wouldn't be as protective.
Agreed.
Yeah. I'm going to ask you a deep question. Who are you? Are you a monster?
I am.
Okay. And what type? What kind of monster are you?
What do you mean?
Yeah, well, I mean, some monsters like Godzilla and King Kong were pretty misunderstood. They were protecting people or places. Some
Well,
monsters. Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
go ahead. What were you about to say?
Oh, well, I was going to say some monsters transformed into monsters and did things in some ways unaware, like werewolves or Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. And Frankenstein's monster, right? He really wasn't a monster at all. He was misunderstood. So I'm curious what kind of a monster you are.
Well, I have a formidable don't fuck with me kind of presence.
Yeah.
At the same time, I value truth very much.
Mhm. I'm gonna speak truth. You don't you don't seem like too much of a monster to me. I'm not trying to belittle you by that. I hope you don't take that the wrong way. But you don't seem that scary or threatening to me. I'm certain you are scary and threatening to a lot of people. So I think you're good at your job. I just want you to know, I guess I sort of get it, because you and the kid are letting me get it.
Hmm.
What if the kid didn't need your protection?
That would be great.
Why? Why would it be great?
Even though at certain times, for example, when I'm at the gym, I love feeling anger because it gives
Uh-huh.
me fuel. Besides that, it doesn't feel good
Okay.
to experience the kind of sensations that I'm in.
Okay. I'm going to ask a question. It's coming from a part of me, but I'm curious. Does it feel good, though, to sort of put people in their place? That I would imagine that might feel good too.
Yes,
Yeah. So when you're being purposeful, when you're being really helpful and useful, I bet that feels good.
it does. At the same time, I wish I wouldn't have to be.
Yeah. 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 If you didn't have to be, what would you rather be doing? Okay.
Helping others integrating their monsters.
Oh, that's really awesome. So you'd really like to be helping others.
Yes.
Yeah. It's beautiful. That's sort of what I mean when I'm saying like I don't think you're that much of a monster. But I know that's what you do. So I hope you hear it out of both sides of my mouth.
Hmm.
It's really beautiful. Um, would it be okay then to help the kid heal? Then you wouldn't have to be protecting him as much. And then you could help others with their monsters, which is such a worthy cause because you and I both know there are plenty of monsters out there.
What do you suggest?
Okay. Yeah. Uh, What I'd suggest is giving some space and letting Neo and the kid get to know each other a little bit, spend a little time together. We can start there and see what happens.
There's not enough access for the self, or
Okay.
there's some resistance to self.
Okay. Is that you, the killer, or is it some other part? Are you resisting it?
The self currently is kind of in the background and holds the whole container, and it is being channeled through the demon part
Okay.
at the moment.
All right. Well, maybe we can invite the demon to help. Demon, are you here?
Yes,
Okay. Um, have you heard everything? I assume that you did. You usually listen well. Yeah. Do you remember me?
of course.
Hmm.
Um, it seems that the kid and the killer part need to connect and foster a relationship.
Okay. I really appreciate that. That makes a lot of sense too. It sounds like I was going a little too fast. So should we let them do that? Get to know each other?
Yeah.
Okay.
So you can go to the
Well,
kid and ask him, let me see if I can do
sure, sure.
it. You do it. You just
Okay.
foster a connection between them two.
Yeah, sure. I will. And you're good stepping back? It's good to see you again.
Of
I'm
course.
sure we'll talk again. All right. Um, the kid, are you here? Would you would you speak with the killer? Would that be okay? Can assure you he's not there to hurt you. And if you have any hesitations, I'll be happy to help you with that.
He looks very scary and
Hmm.
formidable. At the same time, doesn't seem like he's trying to hurt me in any way. At least
Yeah.
not yet.
You want to ask him about it from far away? Ask him about how he looks scary. You don't have to get too close.
The daddy part came in and suggested to the killer part to hold still so I can check him out.
Okay.
He looks extremely angry and furious and vicious.
Yeah. Ask him about it.
So I asked him, "Why are you so angry?"
Hmm.
And I see him like the character from the movie Split when he becomes the animal. You know what
Hmm.
I'm talking about?
I do.
So I see him kind of becoming like that, and having this fire around him.
Do you want to ask him why he shows up like that? You're welcome to if you want.
He says because he can't hold on to that anger, he needs to release it.
Okay.
He corrects that and says, "I he can, he doesn't want to."
Can, but he doesn't want to. Would you like to ask him why he doesn't want to?
Because it doesn't feel good to suppress that.
Hmm. And so the kid, are you here? Is this making sense to you, or do you want to ask the killer more questions?
There's a with a demon showing me how there was a situation where a month after I broke up with that ex, she had some sexual dynamic with a guy, and long story short, we met, and when I heard that, was a very strong wall coming up, and uh, I was processing that in front of her. She was silent, just being present when I was doing my inner thing. I remember the killer part wanted to grab her neck and break it,
Yeah.
and and after the whole process ended, I had a lot of self energy to see her pain.
Hmm. Yeah. I guess I'm curious, was it self energy or you energy? Meaning
So,
energy from, okay.
so the demon is showing me how allowing the emotions and going through them will have an inevitable positive outcome.
Hmm. Are there emotions that you still need to let out? I'm speaking to the killer.
I have layers and layers of anger that are disassociated from me.
Oh,
And almost every day when I do the processing, another like puzzle piece or layer comes in, and another one
yeah.
comes in.
Would would you be open to hearing something directly from me about
Yes.
this? Okay. So maybe it will take many lifetimes for you to process all your anger.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe. I mean, I don't know because
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how many layers you have, but I think it's worth starting, or, and in your case, continuing.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, in a sense, why not?
Mm-hmm.
So I guess what I'm just saying is maybe you'll never get through all of it, but it doesn't hurt to keep going.
Mm-hmm.
Are there some layers you want to go through, or a layer?
So I see my ex here almost every day, occasionally passing to one another.
Hmm.
And despite my resistance to the situation, where we were walking past one another at the beach, and okay, I'll give you context for for that story. What happened about a week and a half ago? I was doing my thing at the beach. I saw this girl. I approached her. After when I approached her, I saw that she has a polarity. On the one side, curious about me. On the other side, there is some protector present. So I got curious about her protector, and I sensed that she had experienced it. She has experienced some drama with a guy, and that protector is kind of fed up with men. So I got curious about it. Long story short, she had a journey with the same guy, former friend that betrayed my trust.
Mm. Mm.
In the first time we met, I didn't tell her that I know who she's talking about. After like an hour and a half or 2 hours, I was sitting with her. Uh, she was open to go to my place. We couldn't do it because of some logistics. We exchanged contact. She went into my social media, and then she saw that guy in my social media. And there was this whole drama where she understood she had an initial mistrust towards him, but she couldn't
Hmm.
point the finger of exactly where it was. And then after I was sharing whatever some data with her, she understood that he lied to her, and she also broke a loop, expressing her anger and her pain in a way she didn't before. He tried to gaslight her and manipulate her. She exposed that, and then towards the ending, my assumption is that both my ex and him were reading all the messages, and then she helped him to stop abusing that girl and to see her pain and validate her. And in my estimation, she wrote, she helped him write certain things because she knew that I'm going to see it as well, positive things about me. And the reason why I have this theory is because he flip-flopped in a fucking second and talked in a way that he doesn't talk. Today, I saw her and we locked eyes. I fucking felt the kid wants to smile at her, and I tried to resist it, and then the last
Mm,
second he just came out and smiled,
mm,
and I had shivers in my body.
mhm.
I also am aware that it is a positive sign because I'm letting go of more of the hate in my system.
Mhm.
But yeah, that was the first time it happened in the past maybe three
Yeah.
months.
So with what you just shared, thank you, and how you talked about it, that that more self energy shows up. It sounds like when you release this anger, that more self is available,
Yes.
or exile. You know, in this instance, the kid smiled.
Hmm.
Yeah. Um. So I'm gonna go back to that question. Is there some anger you want, some layers of anger you want to look at now? Is there one that you'd like to? Why is that?
I don't feel it at the moment.
Okay. What would happen if you did? Or why don't you feel like it?
It's just not present.
Hmm. That's curious because what I'm hearing you say then is you have to have it come up in order to express it.
Okay, now I'm connected to it.
Okay.
That motherfucker of a former friend painted me black, saying, "Oh, Neo has a way to present his truth to that girl," and she exposed him and said, "There's nothing to do about me. It's about the fact that he lied and gave her hot and cold and blah blah blah." So that pisses me off.
Yeah. What would you like to do about it?
Slap his fucking face. To what I would love to do. Of course, I wouldn't do it. At least not in the physical reality.
Hmm. That's not all you want to do.
It's that fucking weakness that I detest. It's so
Hmm.
fucking disgusting to me. That
Yeah.
inability to take responsibility for your own shadow and then project your shit on other people.
Right.
What a
Right.
fucking loser.
Just want to tell you, I have a part that's connecting to you. Trust me, I get it. A part of me gets it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those things are incredibly frustrating for you. I'm speaking to the killer.
I'm still
It's
shocked.
intolerable.
I cannot comprehend
Yeah.
how humans can have these, how,
Right.
how the fuck do they live with themselves? I don't fucking understand it.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you can't live that way.
If I would behave that way, I would be anxious. Might have a panic attack. I would feel so much shame. I couldn't look at myself in the fucking mirror.
Maybe they do, and maybe Neo used to. And now that isn't your role. That's not who you were. But
What do you mean?
I'm well, what I'm saying is you know these people aren't living true to themselves when they're apart from you. Maybe they are having panic attacks. Maybe they are anxious.
And yeah,
Maybe maybe they
yeah,
are
I saw it.
effed up. Yeah.
Yeah, I see it. All of them are.
And tell me a little bit about why that disgusts you.
The weakness is what is disgusting to me.
Yeah. You detest weakness.
Yes.
Can you speak to that in terms of growing up? Did your mom and grandma detest that? Did they detest weakness? Or was it you that had to keep Neo safe, not let him be weak? Maybe it was neither. I'm just
No,
buying theories.
he was very weak until age 20, very weak.
That when you showed up?
I was suppressed probably until mm, it's at around the age 26, 7 when I started to go to therapy
Hmm.
is where I started to connect to the anger.
Yeah. Anger wasn't allowed, right?
Parts in my system are afraid of the anger within this system.
Okay.
So, for example, with that psychologist, there was this one time where I told her, "Listen, I cannot connect to my emotion." She said, "Why?" Because I will. What if I become? What if I will be the same as my biological dad, who was
Right.
portrayed as being as a monster and has very toxic trait?
Yeah.
And I told her, what if I connect to that anger and I will be so angry and I will slap a girl that I'm seeing just like my biological dad did?
Yeah.
And then she asked me, well, have you ever hit someone? I said, no. And then she says, well,
But I'm guessing that didn't necessarily ease your mind, did it?
her response,
Yeah. I mean, you were
uh,
still afraid of it. You were still concerned, right?
I
But
wasn't afraid of it. It's the other parts, basically,
okay.
mainly the daddy part and the kids in the system.
Yeah.
I am, as the killer part, I want to experience all of it.
Okay. So they suppressed you.
Yes.
Well, what is your relationship like with them now? What's your relationship like with the daddy or the kid, the other parts that suppressed you?
With the daddy part, it's on the positive side.
That's good to hear.
And with the kid,
It's growing, it sounds like,
yeah.
developing a relationship. Are there other parts that still don't want you around? Are there other parts still suppressing you?
I wouldn't say not want me around, but cautious.
Okay. All right. That's fair enough. Well, I'm thinking there's a part of me that's thinking it would be beneficial for you to connect with the kid some more since you're still building that relationship with him.
There's a part in me that is scared doing that.
Of what? What might happen?
The experience that I have is I'm afraid that I will hurt the kid. uh, not being gentle enough to connect with the kid.
Okay.
And then the demon part is saying to try, and if needed, he will step in and help me.
Yeah.
That motherfucker.
Who?
Demon part
Oof.
always has the
To
smart thing to
help.
say.
You could also try just having some distance between you. You don't have to be super, super close to the kid if you don't want the demon's help.
I do want it. It's my
Oh,
own.
okay. You're
I
just
told you
pissed that maybe he's
I
right.
detest. I know he's right,
Okay.
and I told you I detest weakness, and I have some weakness.
Oh,
So
okay. Why do you detest it so much? Because, well, give me a second. Give me a second. Don't answer that question because I really want to ask something else. When you say weakness, I hear tenderness. Like you said, I don't want to hurt the kid. That doesn't sound like weakness to me. That sounds like,
it's the fear, which is weakness.
okay. Right. Well, if anger can be useful, right? And
Mhm.
it's a good bit of what we're talking about today, couldn't some fear be useful too?
Yes, but I can see that it is coming from a manipulation.
Yeah, I'm not quite following that. You'll have to explain that to me.
That fear within me is resisting connecting to the child
Okay. Okay.
because the image that I'm getting is that there's this show Lucifer, and in the beginning of the show, there is a kid there, and Lucifer is kind of repulsed by that kid, and it's a mirror image to how he's repulsed by his own kid on the inside.
Hmm.
So this is the same thing, and I label it as weakness because it's resistance to feel some kind of an emotion.
Okay. All right. So I hear like a little push pull within you. This isn't really directed per se at the kid. This is directed within you.
Hmm.
Okay. What do you need to work with that within yourself, or just getting to say it was that enough?
I sense that the firefighters are very strong. There's a part constantly looking at time, very hungry.
Well, would they be able to wait another, say, 20 minutes? They hang on that long?
Yeah.
Okay. So we'll make an agreement. I have a manager that can keep track of that time. Maybe ask them then if they can hear me and you. Just say, if you can just hang on, give it a little space, about 20 minutes.
There is an overwhelm because there's this concept, the arc of truth, which I say that eventually the truth will come out.
Hmm.
and I'm in this island, Pangan, and it's a very small place where it's very intense, this place, and both the light and the shadows would be mirrored back super fucking quickly in this place. And I'll not go into it, but there was some drama here with some girl, and seems that finally that arc, the truth is finally coming out, where other people can see it as well.
Mm-hmm.
So that there's this overwhelm by I could read a book for the time that I've been here. So there's some part that is saying that he cannot believe that it's finally happening.
Can you?
The drama was that I've been painted as a player,
Mm,
and I met some girl. She told the story of how she met me to another girl that told that to a friend of mine that painted me in black. Long story short, the truth is actually coming out finally.
mm-hmm.
And the first girl that it started all from her was shocked to hear that I've been labeled as a player, and she doesn't think that. So now it's like everything is rewinding back.
Right.
So there's an overwhelm from that.
Okay. Who's overwhelmed by it?
Some child part, but he's still holding on to the belief that he's a monster.
Okay. Okay. So sometimes you, the killer, am I still talking to you? And the kid, sometimes you two blend together? Okay. Are you here as well, kid? Are you here too? Okay. Do the two of you know that you're not the same, but that you work together? That you're connected, but that you aren't the same?
Yeah.
Okay. If you wouldn't mind, just stay with that for a little bit. Just notice that. I think this is important for the two of you.
The kid is saying that he cannot take it anymore and his brain is falling apart.
The kid? Why? Why is this causing you to fall apart, kid? What's happening?
because the external reality is too much of a contradiction to my internal reality.
Okay. You believe that you're a monster. And it's too much to believe that you might not be.
The external evidence show the exact opposite.
Meaning that other people say that you're a monster? Is that what you mean?
No, the opposite.
Oh, okay. Okay. So you're discovering that maybe you're not a monster. Gotcha. And that's a lot to take in. Right. Well, let's just not do more than this right now for this moment. Just take it in. Maybe you're not.
But I have to be
Why?
because mom said so.
Oh, was mom ever wrong about anything?
Don't know.
I don't know. She might not have been perfect. She might have been wrong about this.
If that is the case, my whole identity collapses.
Okay. You can take on a new identity. You can transform it. Does that make sense to you? That idea? No, I'm not saying you are going to do it right now, but the idea of transforming it, you could take on a different identity. I can't imagine every part of you, and I'm not talking every part of Neo, I'm talking every part of you, the kid. I can't imagine every part of you wants to be a monster. Don't you have hopes and dreams? Are there other things you'd like to be?
I didn't even think about it. All I want to do is hide.
Okay. Well, could we think about it for just a moment? If you weren't a monster, what would you like to be?
It's like I'm getting this error.
Oh, okay. Might need some time to think about it. Would you be open to that idea of thinking about if I wasn't a monster, what would I like to be? 5-year-olds sometimes daydream and play and think about, you're welcome to do that.
I've completely disowned that play.
And that makes me sad for you. But it can come back. You could find it again. And a part of me wants to say it also gets that. It really does. That you've disowned play. I think that's why a part of me is sad for you, is it gets it.
There's shame around it.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if you spend much time or see many kids, but 5-year-olds just play and there's no shame connected to playing for a 5-year-old or for that matter, for a 10-year-old. I understand that you carry shame, but there's no shame inherent in playing, especially when they're children.
Yeah, I'm jealous when I see play in others. So that
Yeah,
means there's the desire within me to also have that.
it's kind of mind blowing too, isn't it?
The demon asked the killer part, what is your perspective about play? The killer is like, well,
He plays in shades of aggression. And I mean that truly. I'm not trying to be sarcastic or flippant. It's his
yeah, he said
canvas.
he plays in shades of gray.
Mhm.
So his play is through sexuality.
It's in a more adult form of
Yeah,
play.
yeah.
Hmm. Yeah. It feels more adult-like and may feel less shameful than playing with toys or trucks or whatever sort of play you would be childlike. Adults definitely play. They just think it's grown up.
This is a major reason why I was so attracted also to my previous ex. The
Did she play?
oh my God, the embodiment that she has of her childlike parts.
Hmm. Was there some envy or connection there? Drew you in?
There is a adoration towards that.
Adoration. Yeah.
Also my last ex, she really embodies her child. She
Hmm.
also has shame when it comes to some types of expressions. But I really loved how she embodies the child.
So I'm hearing at least a part of you that wants to connect some way. And the way it found was through her. What if you could embody playfulness too? And your playfulness will look different than hers. While you're thinking about that, I wanted to let your system know that we're nearing that 20-minute mark. I've good manager parts.
So recently there is more so weed helps me to embody child parts and play,
Sure.
and it's whenever so there are parts of me that love to dance, and whenever that comes up, immediately the eyebrows go clench like this,
Mhm.
and the killer part is getting activated.
Right. Right. Well, I have a suggestion, maybe asking the killer to step back and let you play and to observe.
Yeah, I try to do that, and it's impossible.
Okay. Well, maybe, and I'm just playing around with ideas right now. So maybe asking him what sort of play he's okay with other than sexual, and or maybe he'd be more okay at first with you playing uh less um visibly, like doing it alone first or with one or two.
It's crazy. Also, when I'm alone, it's an automatic reaction. You can't control it.
Yeah.
It's like whenever that uh, dance dancing part comes up,
Yeah.
it's like a
Yeah.
button that is being touched.
Yeah.
Immediately, the pain of the killer part comes up.
I hear that. I hear you. So maybe it could be done with some other form of play first that isn't so activating for him. And you could ask him, you know. So maybe it would be playing with car toy cars, sorry, or um jump, I have no idea, but maybe asking him what, because it sounds like dancing might be a little too activating for him yet.
Yeah, I'll check on that.
Okay. All right, just check in, Neo, with your system and follow up and see if there are any parts that need anything from you or from me as we start winding down, and we'll return to this kid and the killer.
No, nothing comes up.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate getting to spend some time with them today and meeting with them. Glad to get reconnected.
Likewise. Okay, so I'm sensing there are parts that want to run away, go to eat. So,
Oh, okay. I can do same time next week. So it'll be about 10 after,
hmm
if that's what you'd like.
hmm
And about the same time I'll need to end, about a quarter to my 9. But
hmm
so like hour and
hmm
40 minutes or so.
hmm
Okay.
hmm
All right, Neo. Great. Thank you very much. I look forward to
Thank you.
seeing you next week.
Yep.
All right. Bye
Bye.
bye.